You might think you want a phenom or a citation, but here is what they don't tell you. You're probably overpaying for performance you can get elsewhere for half the price. Today we are talking about the Hawker 400 XP. It's the jet that basically runs the charter market, but is it actually a good buy for you? We're going to dig into the real numbers, fuel burn, maintenance nightmares, and the square oval secret that makes this cabin feel bigger than it actually is. Let's get into it. If you spend any time around private airports, you have definitely seen this plane. It is the workhorse of the light jet world. It's not the newest, it's not the sexiest, but it is everywhere. And there's a reason for that. The Hawker 400 XP is like the Toyota Camry of the skies. If the Toyota Camry could fly at 450 knots and had a bar in the back. But a lot of people get confused because this plane has had an identity crisis for 30 years. Is it a Mitsubishi? Is it a Beechjet? Is it a Hawker? Today we are going to clear all that up. I'm going to walk you through every single category, from the cockpit tech to the engine specs and the real cost of ownership, so you can decide if this legend deserves a spot in your hangar. Before we touch the metal, we have to talk about the lineage, because the 400 XP didn't just appear out of nowhere. This aircraft actually started its life in Japan. Originally, it was designed by Mitsubishi Heavy Industries, and it was called the Mitsubishi Diamond. That was back in the late 70s and early 80s. It was a fast, robust jet, but Mitsubishi realized that selling jets in the US market was tough without a local support network. So in the mid-80s, Beechcraft, a massive American name, bought the design rights. They took the Diamond, tweaked it, and rebranded it as the Beechjet 400. Later, they upgraded it to the Beechjet 400A. That A model is really the foundation of what we see today. Fast forward to 2003, Raytheon, who owned Beechcraft and Hawker at the time, decided to rebrand the line again. They took the Beechjet 400A, gave it some aerodynamic tweaks, improved the interior, and slapped the Hawker badge on it. And thus, the Hawker 400 XP was born. The XP stands for extra payload. They increased the gross weight by 200 pounds, allowing you to carry an extra passenger or a bit more fuel. This history is important because when you are looking for parts or mechanics, you will find that the 400 XP shares a massive amount of DNA with the older Beechjets, which makes serviceability a breeze compared to some rare orphan jets. Now let's walk around the outside. The Hawker 400 XP is a good-looking airplane. It has a classic low-wing stance that makes it look fast even when it's sitting on the ramp. From nose to tail, the aircraft measures 48 feet and 5 inches. It stands about 13 feet and 11 inches tall. But the most distinct feature you need to look for is the wing. It has a wingspan of 43 feet and 6 inches, and it features a 20-degree sweep. That swept wing design isn't just for looks. It is the secret sauce that gives this jet its speed. A lot of light jets in this category, especially the older Citations, have straight wings. Straight wings are great for getting off the ground quickly on short runways, but they create a lot of drag when you try to go fast. The Hawker's swept wing allows it to slice through the air much more efficiently at high speeds. You'll also notice the T-tail design in the back. This keeps the horizontal stabilizer up and out of the engine exhaust, which provides smoother handling and better control authority. The landing gear is robust, designed for high-cycle operations. Remember, this was built to be a workhorse. It is not fragile. It can handle the bumps and bruises of frequent landings. Alright, let's talk about power. This is where the numbers really matter. The 400 XP is powered by two Pratt & Whitney Canada JT15D5R turbofan engines. These are legendary engines. They aren't the most fuel efficient by modern standards, we'll get to that in a minute, but they are bulletproof. Each engine pumps out about 2,965 pounds of thrust. That gives you a total thrust output of nearly 6,000 pounds. What does that mean for you in the air? It means speed. The Hawker 400 XP is considered a hot rod in the light jet world. It has a high-speed cruise of 450 knots true airspeed. That is roughly 518 miles per hour, or Mach 0.78. Compare that to a Citation 5 or an Ultra, and the Hawker will often get you to your destination 10 or 15 minutes faster on a typical trip. However, there is a trade-off. These engines are thirsty. You're looking at a fuel burn of roughly 191 gallons per hour on average. In the first hour, during the climb, you might burn closer to 240 or 250 gallons. At cruise altitude, it settles down, but it is definitely not as efficient as a modern Williams engine you'd find on a CJ3. Now, let's talk about range. On paper, the brochure will tell you this jet can fly 1,500 nautical miles. Do not believe the brochure. In the real world, with 4 passengers and luggage and accounting for wind and air traffic control delays, you are looking at a practical range of about 1,180 to 1,300 nautical miles. This is a solid 2.5 to 3 hour airplane. It's perfect for New York to Miami or London to Rome, but you aren't flying coast to coast in the US without a fuel stop. Let's jump into the front office. If you're a pilot, or if you just like looking at buttons, the cockpit of the 400 XP is a mix of old school cool and functional tech. Most 400 XPs come equipped with the Rockwell Collins ProLine 4 avionics suite. Now, I have to be honest with you, this system is dated. It's not the touchscreen Garmin G5000 glass deck you see in brand new jets. It uses CRT screens, those heavy, boxy cathode ray tubes. Usually you have a 3-tube or 4-tube EFIS setup. However, just because it's old doesn't mean it's bad. The ProLine 4 is incredibly capable. It has a fully digital autopilot, flight management systems, and decent weather radar. It's the kind of system that professional pilots respect because it works. But maintenance on these older screens is getting expensive. If a CRT screen burns out, finding a replacement can be a headache. This is why you will see some 400 XPs on the market that have been retrofitted with Garmin GTN 750s or even a full Garmin G5000 upgrade, but that costs a fortune. If you are buying a stock 400 XP, expect to see the ProLine 4. It gets the job done, but it definitely looks like it's from the early 2000s. Now, let's move to the part that actually matters to the passengers, the cabin. This is the Hawker 400 XP's superpower. Most light jets have a circular fuselage. It makes sense for pressurization, but it means the walls curve in sharply, cutting into your shoulder room and headspace. The Hawker designers did something brilliant. They used a vertical oval or square oval fuselage shape. The sides are flatter and the curves are pushed out. The result? You get a flat floor. This is huge. In many light jets, you have a dropped aisle where your feet go and the seats are up on a ledge. In the 400 XP, the floor is flat, which makes moving around the cabin feel much more natural and spacious. The cabin dimensions are 4 feet 9 inches in height, 4 feet 11 inches in width, and about 15 feet 6 inches in length. It typically seats roughly 7 to 8 passengers. The standard layout is a Club 4 arrangement in the center, where 4 seats face each other so you can talk, plus individual seats in the back or a side-facing divan in the front. But the real deal breaker for many people is the lavatory. In the very light jet category, like a Mustang or a Phenom 100, the toilet is sometimes just a seat with a curtain. It offers zero privacy. The Hawker 400 XP features a fully enclosed lavatory with solid wooden doors. If you are flying with business partners or people you don't know intimately, having a solid door between you and the bathroom is a luxury you do not want to skip. The seats themselves are usually fully articulating, meaning they swivel and recline. The windows are a bit small compared to modern standards, but they let in enough light to keep it from feeling like a cave. It's a comfortable place to spend 3 hours. Okay, let's talk about money. This is the negative part of the hook I warned you about. Not because the plane is bad, but because the costs can surprise you if you aren't ready. You can pick up a decent Hawker 400 XP on the used market today for anywhere between 1.5 million to 2.5 million US dollars. That price fluctuates based on the engine hours and the avionics. That is an absolute steal for a jet that goes 450 knots and carries 8 people. However, the purchase price is just the entry fee. The operating costs are where you need to pay attention. Because this is an older jet with older engines, it burns more fuel. You should budget roughly $3,500 to $4,200 per hour for direct operating costs if you are chartering, or significantly less if you own it and just count fuel and reserves, maybe around $1,700 to $2,000 per hour in variable costs. But here is the kicker: maintenance. The 400 XP has strict inspection intervals. There are A, B, C, and D checks. The engines have a TBO, or time between overhaul, of 3,600 hours. An overhaul on a pair of JT15D engines can cost upwards of $700,000 to $800,000. If you buy a cheap 400 XP that's close to its engine overhaul, you aren't buying a cheap jet, you are buying a massive bill waiting to happen. Always check the engine times before you sign the check. Also, realize that parts are generally available because so many of these were built, but as the fleet ages, random electrical gremlins in the old Proline 4 system can get annoying and pricey to fix. So let's wrap this up. Is the Hawker 400 XP the right jet for you? If you're looking for the latest technology, touchscreens, and fuel efficiency that saves the polar bears, this is not your plan. You should go look at a Phenom 300 and pay 3 times the price. But if you are a pragmatic business owner who cares about the bottom line, the Hawker 400 XP is arguably the best value in the sky. It gives you mid-sized jet comfort without flat floor and enclosed lavatory, light jet pricing, and the speed to get you home for dinner. It's a loud, thirsty, fast, and reliable machine that has stood the test of time for a reason. It gets the job done. Just make sure you get a thorough pre-buy inspection on those engines, or your bargain jet will turn into a money pit overnight. Subscribe for more.